city volunteers in Taiwan's Hualien promote a healthy diet by holding a cooking contest. And we see how residents in Sanling of Kaohsiung have settled into their new community. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up, in Taiwan, to encourage members of the public to adopt a healthier diet through home cooking, city volunteers in Hualien organized a cooking contest where contestants using ingredients from the Jingsi product line came up with their own creative, tasty and healthy dishes.
我们每一道呢，你们可以看到啊，都是少盐少油，然后。
Volunteers explain the criteria for this vegetarian gourmet contest. 18 teams come up one by one to explain their dishes.
It's healthy and not harmful for the body. It's not very oily and it tastes refreshing.
Contestants have to come up with dishes which are healthy and simple to make. The contest, organized by Hualien City volunteers, emphasizes healthy, eco-friendly and creative cooking methods using natural ingredients from the Jingsi product line. A Jingsi Bodama master is also on site to judge the creativity of each dish. It's amazing that we can create so many dishes using Jingsi product ingredients. This is really about setting your mind to it. If you have the will to promote it, your creativity comes out naturally. 6 finalists will be chosen to join the winners from other regions. Their dishes will eventually be combined into a recipe book so that members of the public at home will also be able to enjoy healthy, tasty meals.
14 years ago, Zhuang Jiahui became the victim of a gunfire at the Sogo department store in Taichung, Taiwan. The then pregnant Zhuang not only lost her baby, but was also left in a coma after the incident. The enormous medical fees required to care for Zhuang soon depleted the grant her family had received from the government. Recently, medical staff from the Taichung Ciji Hospital visited Zhuang Jiahui to evaluate subsequent aid to the family.
好多人来看你，
大家都很关心你了哈。
A victim of gunfire, Jiahui has been bedridden for the past 14 years. Taichung City Hospital Superintendent Jian Shouxin and team of doctors are here to visit Jiahui and remind her family to watch out for her digestive problems.
Sometimes you can massage her stomach because her intestinal motility isn't that great.
Thanks to the attentive care of Jiahui's mother, her condition has been stable. After a few checkups, Superintendent Jian discovered that Jiahui's brain function has not been entirely affected and will arrange for her to get an MRI to establish the level of damage to her brain. On June 5, 1999, the then pregnant Jiahui was caught in the middle of an exchange of gunfire at the Sogo department store. The incident left Jiahui in a coma for the past 14 years, and taking care of her has taken its toll on her family.
We scrunch a bit here and there and take on some odd jobs. A few $1,000s, some $10,000 is also income for us.
Jiahui's mother says her only hope is to see improvement each day in her daughter. If she can pull through another day, it means there is more hope for a miracle.
In Taiwan, inside report cards other than the students' grades for each class, one can also find another column that highlights behavior and conduct achievements. The original purpose of grading students' behavior was to help them develop good moral values. However, many educators suggest that the system is out of date and ineffective.
My name is Liu Qi-ye. I am a fourth-year student currently studying statistics and information science and psychology. I love playing baseball because I can learn team spirit and have many opportunities to interact with others.
Liu Qi-ye is a student at Furen Catholic University. She's not only excellent at baseball, but also a top student in her class. Furthermore, Liu also volunteers at the local school on a weekly basis.
Every week I will take a morning to volunteer at a local elementary school. I tell stories to the younger students.
From looking at Liu Qi-ye's report cards, one sees that she is a top student. Her determination to succeed and good behavior has also been noted by her teachers.
Before, I decided to volunteer during the holidays because we were graded by our teachers on such behavior. For example, we had to fulfill a certain amount of volunteer hours in order to get a good mark on character education. Back then, I didn't put a lot of effort into the volunteer work because it wasn't something that I really wanted to do.
After becoming a university student, Leo realized that happiness does in fact comes from helping others. When we asked Jiye if the grades received from moral conduct influenced her choice to work in this direction, she said,
I don't think it had any influence on my personality. I don't think teachers or professionals should judge me according to my behavior or conduct. If they give us a high mark, it doesn't mean that I am a good person and vice versa. If I score a low mark, it doesn't mean that I am a bad person.
The original purpose of grading students' behavior and conduct was to help them develop a healthy personality. However, many suggest that the system should be abolished.
I feel that many students maintain good grades in character education because they want to apply for scholarships. I think the most important thing to do is to help students develop good moral values.
Is there a way that we can determine if a person has good moral values or not?
There is no set of rules on how to mark a person according to their behavior and conduct. For example, a student in grade 1 may know that they need to pick up their garbage, while another student may have to wait until he or she is in grade 3 to understand the concept of no littering.
For many teachers, judging their students according to their behavior is not easy. Many even say that it is an absurd thing to do.
What does it mean when a person scores 89% on character education? I think this is a weird concept.
According to many educators, the most important task now is to find ways to help students develop good moral values.
For example, we can ask why we need to yield seats to the elderly, why do we need to work with others, or why do we need to sympathize with others. We need to pass on these concepts to students by giving them examples. We can't just tell them that if they don't yield seats to the elderly, everyone will laugh at them or get mad.
As pointed out by educators, helping students develop good moral value is much more important than scoring high marks in character education. Therefore, listing behavior and conduct achievements in report cards is not that important anymore.
Ye Wenxing, a member of Taiwan's Coast Guard administration, works on the front line of prevention of drug trafficking to Taiwan. In recognition of Ye's devotion to his job, he was recognized with the 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award this year. Let's take a look.
We suspect that the crimson-colored merchant ship is smuggling drugs. That is the ship we need to catch. Go right in, we can tell that the entry is very narrow. In fact, how many drugs we manage to find, that is really just a number, but it may have a profound impact on society. Like the 500 kilograms of drugs behind me, it is enough to influence countless young people out there and eventually damage their health. When there are no results, everyone tends to forget the hard work we put in. When we spend days and nights tracking ships and setting up an ambush, we are giving up our time with our families to fight crime. I was really surprised to be awarded with the 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award. I feel extremely honored, and I hope it will motivate me to continue my work. The drugs in Taiwan mainly come in from abroad, so we actually are on the front line of preventing drug trafficking. If we let these drugs get inside Taiwan, even if we catch 100 criminals selling drugs, the amount will be nowhere near what we would find coming onto one of these ships. So our most important task is to stop these drugs from landing in Taiwan.
In 2004, following the Indian Ocean tsunami, which devastated parts of Southeast Asia, city volunteers arrived in Sri Lanka to offer their assistance. They were later joined by a team of members from Singapore that carried out free clinics for the country's needy and sick. Singapore team's work in Sri Lanka continued from 2009 until last year, in total conducting 7 large-scale free clinics for local residents and changing countless lives in the process.
Here in Sri Lanka, sitting in a row are former cataract patients. Thanks to Singapore team of doctors, they can finally see again.
My income is only enough to cover my daily expenses. In Sri Lanka, cataract surgery costs at least 15,000 rupees. I will have to stop eating for 15 months in order to save up enough money.
In 2004, following the Indian Ocean tsunami, Singapore team traveled to Sri Lanka to assist with recovery efforts. Then Singapore Tzu Chi chapter director Liu Jiyu traveled often to the country to spread Tzu Chi's mission and saw a need for better medical services for local residents.
Their medical service and equipment is not that advanced. Although residents can see doctors for free, they don't opt for surgery because the doctors aren't that educated. So many times, patients wait for a long time to get a procedure done.
After a meeting with Sri Lanka's President's senior advisor, Basil Rajapaksa, 2009 saw the beginning of Tzu Chi's large-scale free clinics.
Brother of the current president of Sri Lanka, Mr. Basil, was familiar with Tzu Chi and recognized our organization. So when we went to register, he helped us. That's how Singapore team started looking after the sick in Sri Lanka.
Tzu Chi's first large-scale free clinic in Ranapura took place on August 2009. Local residents put their faith in Tzu Chi, even though unfamiliar with acupuncture methods and the fact that the surgery rooms were done in the open. From August 2009 until 2012, 7 large-scale free clinics were held, helping a total of 14,024 patients.
Bless you.
Yeah.
I must thank everybody in this team who are real great volunteers. They have spent their own time, own money, and have a big heart to come to this part of the world and then to treat our people.
真的非常的感恩呐、这种的妙人医的妙法的手术呢，在当地呢施展出来呀、真的实在是非常的感恩哦。这种的解救道险的苦难呐、抚平呐、解除这种的疾病啊。
A gas explosion left contracture scars on Chandra Lauder's face and neck, and the scar tissue has left her with difficulty in lifting or turning her head. Doctors immediately decided to graft 2 pieces of skin from her stomach to her neck area.
We selected a skin graft to mend this area. She couldn't lift her head. Now that we added a piece there, she will have plenty of mobility to move her neck around.
Chandralatha smiles after the successful surgery as she is now able to move her neck and lift her head.
I will never forget Tzu Chi's good deeds towards me. I was unable to find a solution to my problem until I came here. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for all your help.
Singapore's Tima team concluded its overseas free clinics in Sri Lanka last year, with local medical personnel taking over the task. The passing of baton is not only in experience but also in love.
As city volunteers in Hong Kong continue to practice for their upcoming water repentance musical, one volunteer, Cho Ya-wen, has been making regular trips to a local hospital to encourage the medical staff there to join in the performance. To Cho's surprise, one nurse, Chen Su-zhen, decided to take on her offer. Now, in addition to group rehearsals on Saturdays, Chen and Cho practice weekly at the hospital, all of which inspired Chen to become a committed vegetarian as well.
Come lunchtime every Thursday, Cho Ya-wen, with 2 vegetarian lunch boxes in hand, makes the trip from her company at Leipzig to Tuen Mun Hospital.
I need to take the subway and after that the West Rail line to Tuen Mun. There, I need to switch to a local train that will take me to the hospital.
Traveling 1.5 hours each way, Cho canvasses for new recruits among the staff at the hospital.
They are all very busy, and so I thought that probably none of them would agree to join, but I was surprised to learn that Chen Su-zhen agreed.
Chen Su-zhen, a Catholic, was intrigued by the performance and decided to discuss the matter further with Pastor Yan Ying, who frequently visits the hospital to care for patients.
After I ran into her, I took the chance to ask her what the Water Repentance Sutra and Dharma is all about. She then told me the story of Master Wu Da.
I hope that you practice hard and put into practice the meaning within.
Finding resonance within the sutra, Chen Su-zhen started meeting with Cho Ya-wen every Thursdays to practice sign language, as well as attending the Saturday group practices. Now Chen, once a lover of meat and fish, has given up eating meat.
When I came back, the fish was still moving. In that moment, suddenly, it was like I was seeing that fish being decapitated and its blood and guts being spilled everywhere. My heart was filled with unease and I quickly left.
Now, not only is Chen herself a vegetarian, but her family as well. Chen says this is one habit that she plans to continue even after the performance is over.
In 2009, Typhoon Morakot devastated southern Taiwan, leaving several towns and townships in Kaohsiung destroyed and displacing thousands of indigenous residents. Following the typhoon, the local government worked in cooperation with the Tzu Chi Foundation to build the Sanling DaAi community for its survivors. Now, nearly 4 years on, residents have adjusted to their new life in the community and are working hard at developing new skills to sustain their lives. Here's more.
妈妈，有一件事情想跟你分享。这几天有人要参访。
Early in the morning, volunteer guide of the Sanling DaAi community, Lin Junxiong, visits each household to notify community members of the upcoming event.
妈妈，这个是水布置的，放这样。
Escorting visitors through homes, Lin hopes through such visitations, visitors can better understand the stories of these disaster survivors and offer them encouragement.
来，请进，请坐。
3 years following the construction of the DaAi community, residents have gradually settled down, yet many still struggle to find work.
It is about financial independence. The problem is there are fewer resources here than in the mountains. We have to count on ourselves and look for useful resources here to develop new skills that can support us. This is very important.
In the mountains, residents had abundant natural resources they could draw upon. However, now they have to find new ways to make a living. Vice President of Tzu Chi University, Xu Muzhu, has suggested that they can create new business opportunities using their indigenous culture.
不得已的一个迁村底下，原来的职业就业的状况会产生影响。
The relocation affected their employment. Now they are forced to do the work different from what they were used to. No doubt they feel a sense of loss, and it's hard for them to adapt. But if they can use their own indigenous background, that will be a great niche in their new businesses.
Lin often introduces visitors to this workshop, which integrates cultural assets into its products.
哎，秋香。
林老板你好。
哎，我们又有贵客要进到我们DaAi园区呢。
欢迎光临，欢迎光临。
比你拜一下哦。
哎呀。
Following Typhoon Morakot, Chen Chouxiang of the Lukai tribe lost both her house and motivation for life. Not until she started learning knitting techniques and opened this workshop, making our decorations, did she restore the brightness in her life.
Since we have lost our homes, we have to settle ourselves first and continue to make a living here. Maybe we can come up with something that is worth passing on to the next generation.
Another challenge is how to get their products to the market. Guoli Huafang Jiaxian district opened a sewing class to teach housewives in the community a new marketable skill. However, the margin of profit was slim at first.
In the beginning, these housewives earned less than $5 a day.
Later, through Tzu Ji's help, their product channel expanded.
We applied for the Empowerment and Employment Program, which subsidized us to invite instructors to teach us sewing techniques.
The Empowerment and Employment Program of the Council of Labor Affairs not only helps disaster survivors learn new skills, but also subsidizes their daily expenses.
People in this community are one big family. We are in the same boat now, and we will together move on towards a better future.
For these disaster survivors, the Sanlin DaAi community is a safe haven where they can heal their pain and suffering, as well as find the strength to walk on towards a prosperous future.
Also in Taiwan, Typhoon Conway in early September caused severe flooding in Tainan. Among those affected, solitary senior Grandma Yang, who is too frail to clean up her house, had no choice but to temporarily live in her neighbor's house. The senior sought help from Tzu Ji, and to her surprise, some 20 volunteers and employees from a technology company arrived to help give her house a huge makeover. As Tzu Ji volunteers carried the furniture outside one by one, some were frightened by the rats that came running out. The homeowner, Grandma Yang, continues to apologize. It has been over a month since Typhoon Conway brought torrential rainfall, and Yang's house is still covered with mud. Volunteers work hand in hand to clear them out.
It's been more than a month. I have to sleep elsewhere at nights.
My heart ached when I heard that the grandma was all by herself in the water for 6 to 7 hours.
With no running water available, volunteers use a pump to draw water out from a nearby creek to clean the furniture and give the house a good scrub.
Tzu Ji volunteers led the volunteer team in our company in this event. We are deeply moved and we have learned many things.
Thanks to the brothers and sisters for spending the afternoon here to help clean up and give this senior a better environment to live in.
We are here to help the elderly woman clean up, and I'm filled with Dharma joy.
With the house sparkling once again, volunteers sing a song of blessing for Grandma Yang and also let her know that Tzu Ji will always be there. We go to South Africa at the end of today's show and join Tzu Ji volunteers in Cape Town who held an aid distribution at the end of last month and handed out 20 kilo bags of rice as well as Tzu Ji's environmental blankets to impoverished families. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.